Hi boys and girls, welcome back to our story time. Today is our last story time for our remote learning together. I can't believe how fast these weeks have flown, but I am so thankful that you have been able to join me as we've listened to some wonderful stories together. So let's begin by saying hello to all of our friends that are here today. Let's do our bread and butter song today. Are you ready? Here we go. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as quiet as we can. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as loud as we can. Hello! Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as slow as we can. Hello. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as fast as we can. Hello. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as nicely as we can. Hi friends, thanks for joining me today. Let's continue with our mindful letter of the day. Today we are on the letter P, and P is for presence. And I'm not talking about a gift that you give or receive, but being present in this moment. We have our past, our future, and our presence. That's the here and now. So P is for presence. Presence is keeping your thoughts on the people and the things that are with you in that moment. This can be kind of tricky to do, and it's a great skill to practice. It means that I'm not thinking about what might come or what's going to happen, or I'm not thinking about what's already happened. Those can get jumbled in my mind a lot. So what I try to do is think and focus on this moment right now. It can actually bring a lot of peace to ourselves when we are present with those around us. Give it a try today. Friends, we have a very special story for our last story time today, and it is called The Last Day Blues, because everyone gets the blues sometimes. In our class meeting the other day, a lot of us were talking about how we were feeling sad and happy at the same time that the school year was ending. Sometimes we call that bittersweet. We can feel two emotions at the same time. We're sad that our school year is coming to an end, but we're happy and excited that summer vacation is here. Our story is written by Julie Danneberg. And did you know that she is an author that is local to Colorado? She lives in our state capital of Denver. So I thought that was pretty cool. Some of you might know her other story, The First Day Jitters, that a lot of your teachers read to on the first day of school. So I want you to sit back and enjoy our story together. Last Day Blues. And I like this first picture. There's all the teachers. So sad to say goodbye to their students for this summer. On the Monday morning before the Friday that was the last day of school, Mrs. Hartwell took attendance. She sighed as she called out the last name. "I am going to miss all of you," she said. The kids nodded in agreement. "I'm going to miss my friends," said Shannon. "I'm going to miss Daisy," said Dan. "I'm going to miss chocolate milk and pizza for lunch," said Joe. Everyone felt a little blue thinking about the last day of school, even Daisy. That afternoon, during recess, the students talked as they hung out on the jungle gym. "Mrs. Hartwell said she's going to miss us," said Alexandra, swinging from a bar. "We should get a present to cheer her up," said Eddie, hanging upside down by his knees. But what could they get her? could give her the rest of my sandwich. It's my mom's bologna special, said Josh. Or a coffee cup, or a new pen, the kind with feathers and beads. The students thought and thought, but couldn't come up with one single idea that they all agreed on. We'll think of something tomorrow, Eddie assured everyone as they lined up at the drinking fountain. On the Tuesday, before the Friday, that was the last day of school, Mrs. Hartwell read the final page of their last read-aloud book. I'm going to miss circle time, said Mrs. Hartwell. I'm going to miss science, said Emily. I'm going to miss seeing Mrs. Hartwell wear her safety goggles during science, said Jack, giggling. And so before they got too sad, Mrs. Hartwell put on her safety goggles one last time, just for fun. We definitely need to cheer Mrs. Hartwell up, said Andy during recess as he jumped out of a swing. Any ideas about a present? Nope, they all answered back. I want you to look at this picture closely at the teachers in the background over here. On the Wednesday, before the Friday, that was the last day of school, Mrs. Hartwell brought in her super duper sugar cookies with extra frosting. I'm going to miss snack time, but I can't wait for barbecues by the pool, said Jack. I'm going to miss recess, but I can't wait to play hide and seek outside after dinner, said Alexandra. I'll miss school, but I can't wait for summer vacation, said Josh. The class discussed their summer plans and drowned their last day blues with another round of milk and sugar cookies. I don't know whether to be happy or sad today, Andy said the minute they all arrived at the jungle gym. Mrs. Hartwell is sad, said Olivia. She probably doesn't want the year to end. While we're swimming, she'll be reading her old lesson plans, said Walker. And while we're playing, she'll be trying to remember the fun times we had this year, said Dan. And that's when an idea zipped, zapped, and zinged through Eddie's brain. I know exactly what will cheer her up, Eddie said, jumping down from the jungle gym. The class agreed. It was perfect. On the Thursday, before the Friday, that was the last day of school, Eddie raised his hand right after Mrs. Hartwell started language arts. We need some privacy, please, he said. And so Mrs. Hartwell took down bulletin boards with her back to the class. She never even peeked. Well, only once. On the morning of the Friday, that was the Friday of the last day of school, the students dashed into the classroom. They snapped open the shades for the very last time. They did their chores for the very last time. They fed Daisy for the very last time. And as soon as the bell rang, they couldn't wait for Mrs. Hartwell to see her present for the very first time. The last day of school makes us so blue. We'll miss recess and pizza and reading too. We'll miss Daisy and cookies and friendship true. Snack time and science and learning new. We'll miss spelling bees for our test review and groundhogs that play peekaboo. This year's been great and a big wahoo! There are many things to miss, it's true. But mostly, what we'll miss is you. Later on during recess, Eddie said, "I think Mrs. Hartwell liked her present." "I just hope it helps," Margaret said. "Poor Mrs. Hartwell," they all said sadly as they pictured their final goodbye. "Teachers must hate the last day of school." And then it was time. The bell rang. "Goodbye," the students called as they rushed out the door. "Goodbye," Mrs. Hartwell called after them. And then she returned to her empty classroom. "It's just you and me, Daisy," she said. "I'm sure going to miss them this summer." But I can't wait for vacation. Do you think that's what we all do after we say our final goodbye, friends? Dance in the hallways? You never know. Boys and girls, thank you so much for sharing that story with me today. I have definitely been feeling a little blue with the thought of having to say goodbye to all of our wonderful, special first graders. I hope you know that you will always have a special place in your teachers' hearts, and that we hope that you always come back and say hello to us even when you're a big second grader. And we always say it's not goodbye, but see you later. Boys and girls, we have one last goodbye song to share together for the school year. It's called Skinamarink, and you may have heard it before, so if you have, sing along with me. Skinamarink-a-dink-a-dink, skinamarink-a-doo, I love you. Skinamarink-a-dink-a-dink, skinamarink-a-doo, I love you. I love you in the morning and in the afternoon. I love you in the evening and underneath the moon. Skinamarink-a-dink-a-dink, skinamarink-a-doo, I love you. I love you too. Boop boop be doo. Mwah. Bye friends, have a wonderful summer.